Huge topic today, guys. All about choices. How do we make the good choice and how do we figure out what's best for us? At the end of the day, pressures are everywhere. And this email that I got today comes from somebody who is in university. They're trying to figure out what's next and they don't really know what direction to go. The parents are pressuring them in one direction while they're thinking another, and the friends are all doing something different. I've made these kind of videos before. This isn't the first one. This is more of a detailed approach to, more practical thinking. Here we go. Hi, Nikos. I'm feeling challenged with school this year. It's not regarding school, but more about the future. I'm not sure what I really want to do. My parents want me to complete my MBA, and I'm not sure if it is for me. I have wanted to travel for a while, but they think I'm losing a year. What do you recommend? And this is a typical case. We usually talk to students about this, and it's not just students. It could be like, you're 30 years old, went back to school, you're trying to figure out what you want to do next, or you could be working somewhere, you want to figure out what you want to do next. Any decision like that would involve school. You gotta really think it through and ask yourself, what do I want to do? Now, does this apply to your daily life with careers? Of course, it applies to that too, and we got to make a decision of what we want to do, where we want to be, and where do we want to head in the next 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, pre-retirement, depending on where you are in life. And decisions are always hard because we got to figure out how everybody else is involved in our decision. You're not just making a decision for yourself. Oftentimes you're making it for other people that are involved in your life. In this case, in this example, well, you're just getting ready to go in your life. So the reality is, do you have anybody to worry about? Well, no. You just have to worry about your parents and what your parents want and to make them happy. So if you want to go that route, then yeah, go for the MBA. If that's not what you're feeling, but your parents are pushing you to do it, then yes. Reasons of why you should go is what you really need to figure out. Why do you need to go do the MBA? Okay, is it worthwhile doing the MBA right now, depending on what you're finishing, etc., etc.? Okay, you say you want to travel. Is that more important right now to figure out and go do? On the other hand, okay, financials, this, that are included into that big picture. How does that all fit in? Take all these things and write them down. Let's figure out from a step-by-step approach, asking yourself, at the end of the day, if I make this decision, will I have done it for the betterment of me, or am I doing it more because my parents are telling me to go do it? That being said, within this opportunity right now that you have to make this decision, it will make it so much easier, is to go and figure out what are people with MBAs doing, and is that worthwhile? I always tell this to people, and I'll do a whole video of this one day, but go on LinkedIn and actually look up people who have their MBAs that are doing the jobs that you think you might want to do in the future. It's a great way to do it, and then you just connect with them and just talk to them and be like, hey, I'm thinking about doing the MBA. This is what I've been thinking with my life. I don't know if I should do it. And they'll communicate with you and tell you the pros and the cons. I can tell you the pros and cons of the project management designation that I did. I can tell you my schooling that I did and how it's helped me, how it hasn't, what was good, what wasn't, what's worth it, what's not. I can go through all that, but the reality is if you don't go and approach people that have this experience, have gone through this, you won't really know. You're just going into it. Is the MBA good to have? Yes, it's good to have. All the schooling is good to have, and it's a great thing to go do right out of school because it's harder to go back to school after. You're not really losing a year by not going there for a year. If you're gonna go travel for a bit, you're gonna come back. You're probably gonna go try and find a job and do something with that regard. Now, that being said, you gotta look at it from a perspective of, if I go travel, what kind of traveling do I want to do? Do I want to go for a long period of time? Do you want to do one of these 6 months, a year trips where you're going from place to place? Or is it specific spots you want to go where you're just gonna go for, a couple weeks, 3 months max? If that's the case, why not go do the MBA and do another year or two in that? I know with co-op, it's a great opportunity to go to like one of the, a school where it's one of the top in its field for the MBA, and you go and do co-op where you can actually go work down in different areas. Like, you know, if you're in Canada, you go work in the States, like get that experience. So the idea is what's the best of the opportunity that you can take with going to school and not going to school. If you were coming out and you're saying, hey, I got a job and I'm debating on what to do, I'd say, you know, look it over, because you can still go do part-time. So if you do have a job, then why wouldn't you do the job and go part-time for the MBA? Your parents bring a valid point, and they're trying to figure out what's best for you. They don't even know, because you don't know, and you don't know what's best for the future of what you want. And this is why people change careers so often. This is why people go from one job to the next, trying to figure out the best job for them and what fits them. Like, I could tell you, when I worked at Manulife, it was hard. I did not enjoy being in that cubicle. Then I went to a smaller company, then I went to a bigger company, and I worked in these cubicles, and it didn't make a difference how big or small. It was the cubicle that bothered me and I didn't enjoy, right? Were they all great companies to work for? Yes, all of them. It's not me. I don't enjoy it. And when I work on projects, I don't enjoy working in a project situation where I got to be at the office for 15 hours. I don't enjoy that full-time 9 to 5 in the office and then somebody going, hey, can you stick around? I'm not really asking you, I'm telling you. And we look at all these things and we ask ourselves, is this the direction we want to take? Now, if you're thinking in the process of, I want to take some time off, go figure it out, I can tell you, you're going to go travel and you're going to be back at the same spot that you are right now, trying to figure out what you want to do. Travel does great things because it opens your mind up to what exists in the world, and it helps you make decisions when it's game time. So if you were going to go do your MBA and you had scheduled it out, you can actually go travel, come back, and then you're like, while you're doing the MBA, you're like, wow, I could go do this, this, and this, and this. You're meeting new people, you're doing more awesome stuff. Take that into consideration while you're planning out what your best case scenario is. In general, any decision we make, we gotta look at all the opportunities that exist. Not all the negatives, all the opportunities. And if the opportunity is there, then do it. Like, you're talking about doing this MBA, like your parents are telling you to go do it. Usually when people talk to me and their parents are telling them to go do the MBA and they're kind of forcing it on them, they're usually kind of helping you out with the bills. Would it be better for you to go do it then? Or are they not helping you? In which case, it might be better to go with a company that is going to be like, hey, if you stick with us and sign a contract, we'll pay for your MBA, or we'll pay 50% of the MBA. So this is the thought process of where the opportunity lies. Taking a year off, and I know high school students will take a year off, and I never recommend that to them. I'm against that. I always say go do random courses at a university or a college and see what you like before you make a big decision on what you want to jump into. Why? Because taking a year off, all it's going to get you is work 30 hours, 40 hours in a part-time job, and what are you going to do with that? Watch YouTube videos until you figure out what you want to do? I don't know, okay? But going into school and taking a whole bunch of courses and meeting a whole bunch of people from all walks of life, and they all telling you their dreams of what they want to do, and you sitting there and just absorbing all that and going, wow. Like, I met some guys at university where they were like telling me about all this construction investment that they're going to get into because their parents are giving them like these gifts of like a lot of money to get going right when they're out of university. And instead of going and buying a house and settling down right away with a job, they were going to go invest it in all these other places. And I sat there and I'm like, wow, that's like, I never thought about that. I never had that in my mind. And years later, when I got into construction projects, that's where I saw it all happening. And I was like, wow, they knew what they were talking about. And now I kind of want to do something similar to that. And I kept in projects in that area. The question always runs down to, where is the opportunity? So list off all your opportunities, and then from both sides, and then make a decision on what you want to do. It might be beneficial to just, go for a quick vacation for a month or two to some places you want to see, sign up for the MBA, go do 1 year of the MBA if it's a 2-year program, and check out during the second year, just take a break from it and go travel some more and break it apart. Or do the 1 year program with no co-op and then start off. Do I suggest that? Not really. I really think that you should do the co-op with the MBA because that would help because you don't have that much experience, and that really would jumpstart your career after in whatever area you want to go. And who knows, maybe you want to do a nonprofit and jump into one of those, and those are always fun. I gotta tell you, they're always fun. A little bit more hassle, but always fun. Going back to the question of, you know, making decisions are always always hard because we're going off this emotion instead of looking at the opportunistic moments that exist and how to logically process those. And if we can actually sit there and put down the opportunities in a logical manner and then allow emotions to creep in from a perspective of, yeah, this was what I want, this would be fun, and this is what I want for my life, it changes your whole perspective of what you want to do. It takes away that fear of what my parents are going to say and how we're going to deal with my parents, because my parents really want me to do something. And I mean, that's how it rolls. And you going through that step process will assist you greatly. So take some time, think about that. My name is Nikos Rentas, mentorsapproach.com. Please like and subscribe. And of course, send any questions.